At LabLab, we have just tested the Ecovacs Deebot N20 Plus, and in this video, we are going to tell you what we honestly think about it. And for your information, if you are interested in this product, please note that we have put the link to this product with its best price just below this video. The N20 Plus has a round white plastic design whose glossy finish catches fingerprints a bit. Its two high-traction drive wheels allow it to climb thresholds of 20 millimeters in height. A tower with a laser is present on top of the robot. The laser is completed by a radar at the front of the bumper to carry out the mapping. In total, the robot measures 9.6 centimeters high for about 35 centimeters in diameter. This allows it to easily pass under the radiator. It follows baseboards well, avoiding bumping its bumper, and corner cleaning is ensured by its side brush. The latter was very simple to put in place and remove. No hair wrapped around the main roller brush during the test, thanks to the Zero Tangle anti-tangling technology developed by Ecovacs. On top of that, the robot features a pad plate and a large removable mop. The mop drags behind the robot, which is obviously less effective than rotating mops, but it still allows to refresh the floor. The station that accompanies the N20 Plus handles its emptying, storage, and recharging. No water tank is present in it. Only a 220 milliliter removable tank is present in the robot vacuum cleaner, which is quite small. On the other hand, there is a large dust bin in the station that can contain the equivalent of up to 45 days of vacuuming. Special point, it is a bagless collector, which should allow nice savings over the long term because there is no need to buy replacement bags. To empty the tank, you just have to place it above the trash can and press a button so that the hatch opens and pours out all the dirt. The robot's dust collector has a capacity of 400 milliliters. Finally, the brand indicates a repairability index of 8.3 out of 10. Without being exceptional, it still indicates that a good part of the elements are replaceable or repairable if needed. That is it for the design and maintenance. Let's now move on to the features, which are very interesting. On top of the robot, we find the 3 buttons for power, pause, and return to the station. A child lock is also possible. A 4th button is placed under the cover to pair the robot with the Ecovacs Home application via 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi. The application is clear and complete, giving access to the choice of language, the vocal sound volume, the adjustment of the suction power on 4 levels, silent, standard, max, and max plus, and the water flow rate on 3 levels, low, medium, and high, the number of passes of the robot, the child lock, the do not disturb mode. A cleaning log is available to keep an eye on the different tasks performed. A tab allows to program a cleaning, and another indicates when it is time to plan a replacement of removable parts. Up to 3 maps can be kept in memory to manage houses on several floors. It is possible to delimit a cleaning zone or virtual boundaries there, to define the room type, to divide the room into 2 zones, or even to merge several rooms together. Throughout the duration of the cleaning, we were able to follow the robot's movements live on the application, and it indicated in real time the cleaning zone and duration. The N20 Plus can also be controlled vocally using Alexa or Google Assistant. Finally, the only element that surprised us is that the pad plate with mop is detected by the robot. As a result, when we placed the device on a carpet, it refused to work as long as the plate was present because of the carpet sensors. In fact, as the N20 Plus does not have the ability to lift its pad, Ecovacs preferred to make sure that it cannot be used on carpet when its pad is inserted. This is clever, but as a result, you must manually remove the pad every time you wish to vacuum your carpets. Well, let's now move on to the most important part, our performance tests. To map rooms and navigate, the N20 Plus integrates 4 cliff sensors, an edge sensor on the right side, a laser beam navigation module, and an infrared obstacle avoidance module. We judged its mapping relatively effective and precise. To carry out the first mapping and suction in standard mode of an empty room of 9 square meters, it took 8 minutes and 30 seconds, which is very fast. We, however, observed that it was not the best with obstacles. For our test, we placed a ball, a plant, a cable, a shoe, and an armchair in the delimited space. Only the plant was truly avoided without being touched. The ball was pushed a bit before being bypassed, and the shoe and the cable were not taken into account at all. They were therefore pushed or dragged by the robot. However, the vacuum cleaner brilliantly crossed the sled base of our armchair. These are quite mixed results for this price. We also tested its cliff detection sensors by placing it above a staircase, and it avoided the fall without trouble. In order to test its suction, which has a high theoretical power of 8,000 pascals, we scattered a series of grains of various sizes and hair in a delimited area of 1 square meter. Here are the results we obtained on a short pile carpet using the max mode and a single pass. With 50 grams of rice, we observed that 98% of the grains had been vacuumed. There were just a small 10 left, mainly on the sides. With 25 grams of coffee, not a single one was left. With 50 grams of salt, unfortunately, it was more complicated. It is our most difficult test. A lot of salt remained in the depths of the carpet, but it is better than others. And with the few hairs that we had scattered, a very good efficiency, no hair remained. Then, we proceeded in the same way on a hard surface. With the 50 grams of rice, an efficiency of 99%, just 2 were left. With 25 grams of coffee, the same. Just 2 were left in the corners. With the few hairs that we had placed, an exemplary efficiency, there was not a single hair left. And with 50 grams of salt, an efficiency of 98%, it is truly very, very good. These results are frankly very good and even better than with certain high-end models. To test the washing, we made dried mud and dried coffee tracks. We again used the same test area and on a hard floor. We added water in the dedicated compartment and placed the mop. The robot was set to max plus mode with a high water flow rate. And here are our results. For the dried mud tracks, when the pad was previously moistened, we observed an efficiency of 5 out of 5. All tracks were eliminated. As for the dried coffee with the pad also previously moistened, the same, an efficiency of 5 out of 5. All tracks were eliminated. In fact, within the framework of our test, we run the robot vacuum cleaner on an area of 1 square meter. However, this area is too small to allow the robot to correctly moisten its pad over its entire surface. It takes about 3 minutes for the pad to be fully moistened. Following these tests, we can say that the robot is capable of refreshing floors when its pad is well moistened. For the noise in operation, here are the results obtained using our sound level meter, positioned 1 meter from the device with each mode during suction. In silent mode, it emitted 60 decibels. In standard mode, 62 decibels. In max mode, 64 decibels. And in max plus mode, 69 decibels. This robot is a bit noisier than average in operation, which is not surprising in view of its high suction power. The results are not extreme, but we still advise against running it if you are in the same room. Unsurprisingly, the automatic emptying is even noisier, emitting 77 decibels. Finally, let's finish this test by evaluating autonomy. The battery of the N20 Plus has a capacity of 5,200 milliampere-hours, with a recharge time announced at 6 hours 30 and an autonomy of up to 300 minutes, which is enough to cover 550 square meters in standard suction mode. This robot fulfills its part of the contract very well. It managed to reach up to 330 minutes or 5 hours 30 minutes in a room with a surface area of up to 300 square meters with obstacles, which is exceptional for a robot vacuum cleaner. Of course, as soon as we used higher power, the autonomy dropped. In Max Plus mode, with suction and without consuming water, the autonomy went down to 75 minutes. Finally, the charging time that is planned by the brand is already very long, but it is in reality even more important. We estimated the full charge at more than 7 hours. And that is it for our test results. So to summarize everything, the positive points of the Ecovacs Deebot N20 Plus are very good suction performance, an effective anti-tangling technology, a practical bagless dust collector, an exceptional autonomy in standard mode, the application which is intuitive and complete, and the water washing, which is surprisingly effective once the pad is correctly moistened. As for the negative points, the charging time, which is very long, the fact that you have to wait 3 minutes for the pad to be correctly moistened, the fact that it is quite noisy in operation, its obstacle management, which is imperfect, and the absence of accessories and replacement components provided upon delivery. And that concludes our test. Thank you very much for watching it. As a reminder, you will find the link to this product with its best price just below the video. And if you like honest vacuum cleaner tests like this one, do not hesitate to subscribe to our channel.